Hey, what's up, chillers? Another episode and another on the table conversation that we're going to have. My name is Sepi.
Church Girl is here. And Ghosty is here.
At this point, I don't even want to tell you what episode is it, but what I can tell you is it's season 2, okay? What's written there, it's fact. Episode in Dun 10, 11, 12. We're cruising once again. All right, ladies, let's talk about the documentary that has been trending. Senzo Muyiwa's documentary. Who Killed Senzo Muyiwa? That's on Netflix. If you have not watched it, you're more than welcome to go on YouTube and watch it. We're going to have our own post-analysis of that conversation, one, and also just have a further conversation on how far would you ever go for a family member, or to protect a family member, or to protect a friend. Okay, you've watched the documentary?
No.
You've watched the documentary?
I have.
Thank God, because then we can have this conversation. Okay. So, but you obviously have kept abreast of the case and what's happening. And what's your take on it? We're all allowed to have an opinion on this one.
Honestly, I'm 50-50.
50-50
of what really happened that day. You know, when you watch, when I watch Kelly's show, what is it called again? On Showmax?
That one?
Yeah, when I watch Kelly's show, I feel like she really gives us who she is, and I don't think she killed him.
Okay.
And then but maybe you know who did it, even if you didn't do it, or you heard something or saw something. But I don't think she did it.
Your theory, Ghosty?
Okay, with just after watching the show, I must say, I think I've kind of like, it was just so sad, you know, how it all just, as if they were narrating everything and what has happened. And obviously, after all of these years, no one has been caught. Well, you've got these 5 guys who are currently on trial, but it just so.
I don't think any of them did it.
Yeah, it's so.
That is a ploy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think after just seeing everything, I think it goes back to someone in that room knows the truth.
5 things that stood out for you. You've not watched the documentary, but 5 things that stood out for you on the case for what you already know.
Oh, Ghosty, you go.
But I want to know what you already feel that stand out for you. This could be something either you feel. I mean, already you feel one, Kelly's not. You feel like Kelly's not the one who killed him.
Mm-hmm.
What are your other points that you feel, you know, sort of stand out for you where this case is concerned?
So obviously, Kelly didn't do it. All my points are around Kelly because I think she was genuine in her love for him, no matter how the relationship started.
And they had a child together, you know.
Right? As if that has ever stopped anything or anybody. The wife. That's point number 3 for me. Okay. The wife, and I leave it at that. And I think those are my points for now. If I think of more, then I'll...
Can I mention my points?
Please do.
And my theory, and it's a theory, we all have our own theories and we can all make our own theories. 1, I don't think Kelly killed him. 2, I do feel Kelly is covering up for someone in the house. Mm-hmm. I do feel, I will not mention names, the guy that was there, that's someone's son, and the other person that was there, in Nabajola, I do feel a fight happened there. Okay? And in this fight, somebody got shot by mistake. And I tell you why. In the documentary also, this is fact, I'm not making this up, it's not a theory, it's what's on the documentary that's public. Kelly called 3 people after the shooting. Kelly called the sister, the wife, Gasenzo, the sister, Gasenzo, and Chico, Twala. Those are the 3 people they called first. Medicine apparently was also cleaned up, which then makes me worry because that's a tampering of evidence. Why is it that, this is a crime scene? Apparently someone was hired to clean.
Oh.
Was it a neighbor?
Yeah. I heard the neighbor instructed them that they should clean, and he was a former policeman. I can't remember quite well. But this person was instructed to come and clean, and only a hat was left there. The wrong person was identified by all these people.
That were there.
And umuntu bakawashi imoto ngaphandle.
Yeah.
And for me, it feels like, you know, when your mother is in desperation to hide their baby's facts and they point at anybody.
Anyway.
But don't think of the ramifications that this will be investigated.
Yeah.
Currently, this man is suing SAPS 14 million
Yeah.
for wrongful arrest. Right? Another one. Where the door is versus where he collapsed is two different things for me. Because someone says they were running towards the room and they ran to the room, but they're able to tell exactly the same story as people who were in the room at that time. How do you know?
Because that person ran out first.
I'm not talking about Longwe who ran out.
Yes.
Longwe said he ran out with his phone, then said he ran out without his phone. Somebody else said they went to the bedroom. And then if they ran to the bedroom, why are you able to narrate the exact same thing as people who were there and watching
whereas
it?
you ran out?
Something is very shady for me here. And a neighbor who saw or heard things, heard a gunshot, stood outside for 2 hours and no intruder came out.
Yes, no one came out.
He says, there were 10 phones, valuables, TV, what criminals actually take.
Car keys as well.
Keys. And only one phone was taken, that was Kelly Khumalo's phone. And that was taken to where? To the hostel. I 100% do feel like these Nkabis, these 5 people, are a cover-up. These people were paid by somebody, I feel, and I don't know who, but somebody's paying them, to cover up what's happening. Because mysteriously, they are saying they met Kelly at the hostel in Vosloorus, and that's where her phone was now found. No one is taking out the sound clips of what the phone calls were about to the sister, to the wife, and to the... But you're able to find where it is, where it's located. This is a crime scene. Anything can be taken out of anyone's phone. Privacy.
No.
Why is it that Oscar Pistorius' phone example, we're able to see everything from messages that were deleted, things like that. They were found. How is it that in this case, we're not able to hear what Kelly said to the example, to the wife? The sister is the only one who's narrating. It said she called and she said there was a fight. Senzo was trying to lamula the fight and she got shot and he got shot. That's what she says. She's narrating it. But why aren't we hearing it? Why aren't we hearing what she said to Chico? There's a beautiful cover-up here.
It's perfect.
There's a perfect, amazing cover-up. And that's what I want to ask you guys. Would you ever cover up for a family member or a friend, and to which extent, or even a partner, if anything of that sort ever happened? Allegedly, say, example. Example, allegedly, something like this ever happened to you guys and someone in the room did it. I mean, the best friend is also apparently going around when he's had a few to drink, he says that person's name.
I want to be honest, now I can sit here and say, no, I wouldn't. But I also, I don't know unless if I were put in that situation. If it was my mother, if it was my husband, if it was my dad who did something bad and I needed to cover, I don't know, Tsepi.
Ghosty?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would. I would cover.
Tell me why.
No, because I guess, in this situation, and also how much do you trust the people, to stick to the story as well. I think that's another, I find it wow, for everyone, they must, what do you have on other people? So just so that everyone keeps to the same story. No one is talking in this instance. So I think even for myself, I would literally have to sit there and think about it very well. How do I get these people to make sure that, okay, if this happens and I'm the only one who knows, okay, good, I can shut up, and cover. But if there's other people involved, how much do I trust them, The
same breath. The best friend, after the shooting happened, 2 hours later, obviously, I get it because they needed to I don't know actually why it was called 2 hours later. And also another thing is, where did he die? Did he die in Kelly's hands? Did he die in his friend's hands? Did he die in the car? Did he die on his way to the hospital? Did he die in the hospital? There's many theories of where and when he died, right? That's not the problem. The other problem is the friend now lived at Kelly's house for 2 days after the shooting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's not weird at all. And you're not from Johannesburg. Well, that's not weird at all. You're Senzo's best friend, so you could be...
Didn't he say he was waiting for his phone?
Oh, honey.
That was taken by the police.
At Kelly's house.
And the policeman who was part of this investigation, who is retired, they muffled his voice, and he says that the best friend was obviously quite frantic and quite, emotional, and he had said there was a fight and he was shot by someone in the house. And obviously, while he was still narrating the story to him or the statement, he was then called.
They were called, yeah.
They said, now you're
Tula.
What's Angjo? They call you up and say, stupid little boy, what are you saying? And he came back, and obviously now there was a different statement. Do what you may with that information. I, without a doubt, would cover for my family members. And I know this sounds very criminal, but it sounds like the next and first best thing I would do for my family member. If I think of my brother right now, who I would fight a lion for, and he comes to me and says, Joe, Jambile, I say, damn, what happened? In fact, don't tell me what happened. Because if you tell me what happened, I know too much. Then they're going to ask me questions, and I'm now every time going to have to, don't tell me. Just tell me what to do from here. What would you like for me to do? Does that make me a terrible person? Does that make anybody in that family a terrible person for... Look, I suppose it's a crime, hey, so yeah, that fucking makes you a terrible person. Inevitably. But morally standing for your family, ethically standing for your family, not ethics of life and 10 commandments. And 10 commandments. And for your family, when you say you're a ride or die for someone, when you say this is my family through thick and thin, the thick, unfortunately, sometimes may be illegal.
Hey, there's a saying, Gogo. I don't know if everybody says this, but I know it's popular. Kuti Maxhosa city, nobo right, noba wrong or right.
Even if it can,
that's so wrong, though.
Well, we say that's that at Groove when we're about to drink,
but that's so wrong on so many levels. Now I say I don't know unless I'm in that situation, because I also think a very big part of me. I can be brutally honest. And in Naingati, we can deal with this thing and get over it. Because the more that we
get arrested, go to jail.
And yeah, okay. That's me. Honestly, I think I've been, I don't know if there's such a thing as being too honest sometimes, to an extent where I didn't even need to be that honest for things to get to where they got to. I could have just said, oh, okay, or I don't know anything, and be quiet. But hey, I don't know, bruh. I think Teta man, friend. Sizaba right. We'll deal with it together.
I ain't calling your ass. I ain't calling you for a damn.
But it will only get bigger after this. And how many things do stay a secret at the end of the day for a lifetime?
As we're seeing now, the famous saying, what happens in the dark?
But it will come out. Nothing happens in the dark and never comes out.
But do you feel it wouldn't be without trying that I protected my family member and not necessarily said, Joe, let's...
But what are you protecting the thing for me is, what are you protecting your family member from? From rectifying his wrongs? Or from what? What are you protecting? Do they need protection?
Or you just protect them from just like being imprisoned, basically.
Yeah.
Would it be wrong for him to be imprisoned for a crime he committed?
Look, that's what I'm saying, that my moral standing is not...
It's not wrong, actually.
My moral standing is not drafted out like that. And this has no legal implications, right? No. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
And nothing has happened. No, my family is legal and law-abiding citizens for now. But I genuinely feel if anything of that sort happened, it would be a reflex for me to do what they would like me to do to help the situation, or to do what they may feel is helping the situation. And as wrong as it may be, I don't think logic would prevail for me. I don't think it would be, no, man, you're 30. Maybe you'll spend 15 years in jail. You'll be out in the next couple of years. Stay in. Just do what you need to do. My logic wouldn't prevail like that because this is my family member. And as my family member, I will go guns blazing.
Well, I mean, in that instance, at the very beginning, logic wouldn't
Did I just
prevail.
say guns blazing? Sorry. No, I didn't mean it like that.
We got what you meant. But I mean, at that particular moment, obviously, I don't think anybody's logic would be like that. But I think with time or overnight, you'd wake up and be like, actually, no, man.
So then what do? Do I then go to the police station and say, yeah, I'm here to sing like a canary?
You talk to the person first, and if they don't want to, then you turn them in.
I think also it's kind of like depends on what how big is this crime also, and because I wouldn't want to protect a family member who's a nuisance like to the society, So it's like,
guys, remember?
Yeah,
how hectic is the crime? This conversation. I'm talking about the Senzomeiwa conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for instance, this is the scenario: someone in the house shot this person. Now you're protecting everybody that's in the house. You're trying to protect someone in the house. Now, don't imagine Kelly. Imagine yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
Don't imagine Kelly's mom. Imagine your mother in that conversation. Your brother, your brother's girlfriend. Imagine all those people in there. Bring it closer to home. Is it wrong? Look, wrong, yes. Right, fact
because
is
this
illegal.
is in the spotlight, unfortunately.
Yeah, fact is it's even illegal.
You've got just too many eyes and too many judges all around you. So obviously,
and now this is the national case.
Exactly, it's a national case. That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't feel good already. But if it's just a little matter that we're dealing with as just the family, and yes, maybe it's just the few neighbors who know and the society, then it's like maybe we can manage.
We can manage with a lie.
We can live with it.
Because a lie is a lie.
But I just like, in this magnitude of what's going on, I think at some point I'll crumble. That's also...
And I think I'd crumble much quicker than anybody.
Look, I feel
that's why I said, how much do you trust the people around you to stick to the truth?
I crumble by myself.
I do feel I would definitely crumble as well. I'd have like a Lady Macbeth situation when I'm starting to see blood and I'm starting to see this person in my eyes and, oh my God, he's in my bed. Oh my God. When you're having sex, this person's now the person you're having sex with. You're like, I would definitely feel like I'd get to that point. However, like I said, it wouldn't be without trying to protect my family member. And I don't know if
So here's a question. What would the trying to protect your family member look like in this
situation? What they feel is and would be protection for them, I will do it.
So you
what
send
my
them like
brother
overseas.
Or my sister or my cousin can fuck off. Yeah, no, I ain't protecting that motherfucker. No, but say my close family members that and including maybe my best friends who I feel are my life. I'm with these people every day, and they feel this is what would make sense. And we've sat down, and even if we're sitting down, we're saying, what do we do now? You want to go to the cops? I'm happy to support you. You want to not go to the cops? I'm happy to support you. So how do we do this? How do I also not get myself implicated in that? Fuck, guys, does that make me wrong? It's illegal.
For the fact that you are there thinking and pondering on it,
I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
It's wrong.
It is wrong, honestly.
Because I say to you, my moral standing is not the moral standing of 10 commandments. It's not the moral standing of the one that you think, And I sit there and I'm watching this documentary and I'm saying, look, if there's a protection that is happening here, because I personally don't feel that there was an assassination, because we've seen this, guys. I mean, that TikTok sensation guy who was a what and your city lights, Inkabi doesn't come and shoot once.
Yeah.
And says, oh, shoot and go. Now, darling, Gabi will come and shoot you.
Proper.
And then walk up to you again and shoot you again and make sure that you're dead.
Yeah.
You could leave with 8 bullets. You could leave with 14 bullets. They want to make sure that your ass doesn't even make it through there. So, assassination, I write that off. Fuck it. I have friends who had brothers, Bamakinsa and Ngabis, and fuck that dog. Aikoleo. Maybe there's a protection happening there. And I commend their togetherness. I, however, do feel, I'm contradicting myself, but I, however, do feel that, fuck, guys, just say who killed this person. That's why I'm saying I'm contradicting myself.
That's the public interest now, because of the magnitude that this case is at, you see. Whereas if it's just within us as a family, it's easier to manage. Now you feel like you need to account to the whole nation, and this is the problem.
Which you do.
And
I think they thought about coming out, but the thing blew up too quickly for them.
No, I think there was far too much covering that happened there. They were never going to come out to begin. In fact, they thought they were going to cover up everything and it's just going to be a closed case. 8 years later, now you guys are doing documentaries. You're inconveniencing these motherfuckers. They're just like, yo, ivugile and ichampile. Because I heard one of the people in the house, I won't mention who, was at a psychiatric hospital after the shooting, outside of the country. When you're a psych hospital for what after a shooting? Because this thing, Joe.
Crimes, guy. Don't cover up the crimes. Yeah. You end up in psych.
For your mental health.
You end up in psych, guys. But also continuing on the conversation of covering up, Jay, if we can just broaden it a bit, if you don't mind. You know how Elokshin, because that's what I know. Elokshin, we always know that house that sells drugs. And we know who sells drugs in the streets to the kids.
And you do this. You turn a blind eye.
Yeah. So how
nobody
many of those things do we do? Even in the family, you have a cousin, but or something, you watch or remote or in Janjan, abangan back. It could even be like the friends or whoever, like in just the family. It's like things, but how many times do we just keep quiet?
And then we expect to have a better society and bring up kids who are upright and
guys,
good
criminals
citizens.
don't come from the street. Criminals are in your homes.
Criminals are our brothers.
They are our brothers, they are our boyfriends. After killing someone, they come and they cuddle us and they have sex with us.
Mamela, there was a time...
No, but this is fact. And Abanye was jail, obviously.
Yeah.
For the ones who are dating Makin, so the girls know what time it is. But this nigga just came, had a heist, probably shot the poor guy in the cash in transit, comes back, puts that 10K or puts that 100K
do you know what they
on the
say?
table.
Do you know what they say?
Baps.
Uthi akalokinza kuye. Oyaki.
Ihasla.
Ooh, spiritual ties. Do you believe in karma?
Definitely.
Do you believe that karma will find someone who does things like that?
Definitely.
Why do you guys believe in karma? Why do you think it's a thing?
Because it is. What you give out is what you get back.
What goes around comes around.
It's like what you reap is what you sow.
Is that a mental thing? Is that like proven? How do we kind of know that?
You can't pinpoint it. You won't know when it is the karma coming back to
But
him.
you see it.
To see it, because it won't probably come in the manner in which you also expect it to come, but something happens. Something happens. Be it on you, or your children, or your mom, or your dad.
Okay.
It
I always say, sometimes you hear of these horrific incidents that people go through, and just like sometimes people are just innocent, and and you just hear of even people who they were living a very wrong lifestyle, and something happens, and you're like, at the end of the day, it's like, well, the things that they were doing, what did you expect? As much as we could be sad as a family when someone dies because of whatever happened, to them. But it's like, at the end of the day, your life will follow you. Even you look at the sensor thing, if one thing I took from there was like, as much as it's very sad what happened to him, but when they were narrating how this guy was living in terms of his cheating and just this double life that he was just basically just living. And you go, I got a sense of it just being also, it was so distasteful. Like, dude, why did you have to do that? Sometimes you need to watch your actions. Look now, you ended up dying in your girlfriend's home. You could have just been safe with your wife.
Side chick's home.
You could have been safe with your wife at the party with the guys that you play soccer with, So imagine if you just decided to say, let me not do this today. he would be alive. So how many decisions do we have to make in our life, in our daily basis? And you just like, if you just thought and said, you know what, angiyekele lokhu, ngenze kahle, you could save your life. So what happened to him, it is an example of just the wrong decision again and again and again. Unfortunately, that day, it took his life.
Because also part of it, Noli, that you obviously, once you watch the documentary, you'll see they do mention that he was trying to fix his relationship with his wife.
Yeah.
But obviously still maintaining this kind of relationship with Kelly, who is still his girlfriend, and somewhat living with him, whatever arrangement it is that they had. So basically, and obviously he then communicated that he wanted her as a second wife.
Yeah,
the first wife was just like, she hit me on the N1. Example.
And the mother was not in agreement as well. You know, it becomes a whole lot of stories.
The mother says that she went to a sangoma or a healer or a person so that they can get muti to be able to give to Senzo so that bayakwazi uqinisa umuzi wakhe nomakoti. Yeah, so the mother was saying, I'm taking it for my umakoti wam, so that umuzi wamakoti wam uqine. A week later washon.
Ish.
Ayo crime le.
Do you also then not see that as a sense of karma in hindsight?
For
it could be muti gone wrong.
I thought of that.
It could be muti gone wrong.
I thought of that. Because also remember, the person I'm going to consult, I'm assuming they've got my best interest at heart, but I don't know that. So they can say, I'm giving you ipega ngetwa. But in fact, I'm giving you muti so that something can happen and something can transpire. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying, possibilities are endless and are infinite. Karma. I don't know if I believe in it much.
Is it? Why do you say that?
I genuinely do feel like there's a lot of things that have been narrated to us and things that I don't feel are innate. I don't feel that, and I question a lot of things. Look, I'm not saying it's not alive, and I'm not saying it's alive. In the very same way, I question a lot of things because I can't put them together. I can't touch them, and they're not tangible for me. So as a result, unfortunately, I question them. I might not necessarily say they don't exist.
Yeah.
But I question them. I question, the concept of God, the concept of heaven, the concept of hell, and don't think I don't believe in any of it. I believe in a God. I'm a Christian. I've been baptized. I'm born again. Born again once upon a time. But I question all these things, even with where karma is concerned. Yeah. And I say this because we grow up and there's certain ideologies and narratives that are told to us, be it through textbooks, be it through how we grow up, be it through books that we read, and we grow up feeling or thinking that is how life is. And I start to think that we internalize these things, and these things are now psychological more than they are reality. So I also feel sometimes that some things are more psychological more than they are reality.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
And maybe the concept of karma is the same. Because I feel we all have a life trajectory. No one can have a life trajectory that's fantastic from the start to the end.
Sure.
And once that life trajectory of that person doesn't turn out well, we are able to pin it with karma and we say, that's karma.
Not always.
So how would we be able to pinpoint that karma is karma, guys?
That's why I'm saying you can't tell. You can't tell when it is karma coming back to bite you. But I mean, if we believe that if you do good, then good will come to you, you also won't know when that goodness has come back for you.
Do good in the hope that something good will happen to you. It's such a blurred line for me, and that's why I'm saying it's such a blurred line. And I do feel like it would take a little bit longer for me to be able to articulate what it is that I want to say in terms of my thoughts around things that we have been conditioned to think. And how we've been conditioned to think. This is from things that we've learned in church, things that we've learned in school, things that we learn on a daily basis from society. There's a particular narrative that has to be followed, or they want us to follow, in order for things to make sense of the world. And that's humans, right? We do things so that and we apply things like your laws, your everything, so that things can have a structure and things can make sense in the world. That's how we see things. I mean, even with children, you say to children, no, you cannot do this. No, you must do this. No, you must, you're conditioning your child to be able to think a certain way so that they can be a certain person. That's how I feel about most of the things that we've been taught. And look, this might be me overthinking it because I kind of...
I was about to say, I think then for you it becomes a question of you are actually questioning our entire coexistence. That's really basically what it is.
I really do.
And unfortunately, we will never be able to give you the answers. The answers will come from within you based on what works for you and what you agree with.
And what I've been taught, clearly.
And what you've been taught, yeah.
How strong are you to how far can you handle things? Like some people can. You can handle the worst. Like if it's, let's say you're in a field of working with like a doctor. So a doctor can handle someone who's come there who gets there and they are bleeding and they have a broken leg. Personally, I wouldn't want to face that kind of situation. So it's the same with how far can you handle things when people, how wrong they do, and can you handle keeping someone's secret that is so severe, and it's like the other person who's like, yo, I can't, that is just too deep. Other person that's easy, it's fine. Some person is like, oh, show me where I'll help you dig up the grave and we bury them. What do you need? We need to chop them up. No problem.
Let's do that.
Put him in the bathtub.
Do you feel we'll ever find who killed Senzo? It will ever be clear cut? And if it ever comes out, how do you think it will?
I strongly believe that nothing stays hidden forever. So it will come out. How it will come out, I don't know. But based on what because I also haven't watched the docu yet, based on what you've said, someone being in psych, abanye bakhwazana etshwaleni or wherever it is, something around there. It's either the one in psych, uzophambana manyani ke lowa. Sizamshiya ingqondo, and then she's gonna
sounds so much worse than cosplay.
You see, like sizamshiya ingqondo, and he's gonna say things. But then also, Uzaba, what do you call it? He can't be charged because of his mental what.
Yeah,
you could possibly play out like that. Or really, Edralin, when he's just like, I actually cannot take this anymore.
Another eye opener.
Let me tell you, there's he's a grandfather to me. My mom used to say, whenever he was drunk, he recently passed away. Whenever he was drunk, he would say he killed his wife or he killed someone. There's someone that he killed. That he would always say when he was like really drunk. And then one day, he was also drunk still. But then he also said it, and I heard him say it. That he killed someone.
That would be me.
But
what did you do then?
But he was never like, so I think he killed someone here in Joburg long ago, maybe long even before I was born. And then Bamtata covering up. Bamtata, the family went to stay in the village. From the village, then he stayed in Cape Town with my great-grandparents. And that's how he ended up being in our home. Yabo. But Uguti, who he killed and where, why and whatnot. But also those who knew the real story never told anybody.
So what would he say?
No, he would.
Don't tell it to me.
No, so I mean, it would be like if you knew the backstory and be like, hey, is it true that ubulelu tsepi? Wambulala tsepi Joburg? And be like, yeah, because he's drunk. Yeah, ngambulala. And it would never go further than that. He never went into detail, but he always spoke about it.
Did karma find him?
I don't know. Maybe it did in ways because he was never employed.
Okay.
He was a drunkard. He was just a nobody in today's terms. He was a nobody. So was that his karma? I don't know.
Okay. How you?
I wanted to just talk about something when we just talking about the whole karma thing.
Yeah.
And looking how everything is playing out, going back to the whole Kelly situation. Like, I think you see how her and her sister, it seems like they've got this rift. They don't get along. It's been ages.
And the mother
and the mother is this that like you see there's an issue. Something is happening, and maybe it's as a result to maybe what happened, and it just stems from because of your, how they say your soul will forever be troubled, and there's just no peace in the home because of. Maybe in this instance, it's because the truth is not being spoken, So there's a lot of...
1 by 1. Akozolala sada. No. Let's wrap it up, ladies. It's quite clear how we all feel about this case. That, it's part of pop culture. It's quite a big case.
Yeah.
This is after the Rivers Steenkamp thing as well. And now this is, quite a big one. Kelly is quite a famous musician that we all revere and love. And of course, we had our goalkeeper who also was at the peak of his career and was revered by so many people in the soccer space. And when we talk about football or soccer in South Africa, it's quite a big sport. So this man was the nation's man. This man was the nation's player. So this is definitely of public interest. As we speak today, being the 12th, the case has been the 12th of April. It has been postponed to the 22nd of April, and the judge had said that there won't be any more postponements. I think so far there's been about 2-3 postponements. This is the last one until they're able to gather cases because one of the accused has asked for some time. So this is obviously something that we will also keep abreast of. I think it's a very interesting court case. I'm very worried at why it took so long. For something that we may all sit here and feel like it's clear-cut, but I suppose none of us know the law the way that we think we do. You also are more than welcome to share your comments and your theories, and you're able to comment on it. You have an opinion, and your opinion's also just as valid. You can leave it down in the comments, and we'll read it, and we appreciate it. Let's wrap up this conversation.
So last words from me, guys. It's very important for one to know who they are and what they stand for. At the same time, it's also very important to be accountable to one another, because the saying is true: one rotten apple spoils a lot. So whatever it is that you're covering up for me today, the next person will also cover, and it's just it will become a mess. The mess that we are in now. And it's sad that the people that we grew up looking up to, like Abo Kelly, Abo Pistorius, had to end up where they are because of what they did. It just changes the whole...
Didn't do.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Before you eat me up, or what they didn't do. But let's just be careful of what we say and how we say it, especially in the social media space. And I think we have so much to say, but also we're saying it at the wrong place. There are so many things that could be heard when they are said at the right place or to the right people. If we could be united in a cause that is for the good and for the good of the next person, I think we've seen how the trends are. We are able to make a change if we want to. The same way we are able to negatively impact on the people that have died at our hands on social media. It's the same way we can uplift the next person.
Love that.
That is beautiful. I think, going back to the thing of just, your laws or spirituality, how we've got this guy with the 10 commandments, the laws of just our everyday life. It's just that unfortunately life is more complex than just, being instructed through 10 points, So it's very hard. At the end of the day, you just have to seek for that inner good that's in you. It starts with yourself. I think that's it. It's not about what others are doing. And if you're willing to stand, like as you said, stand for what is good, go ahead. Don't
Yeah.
look at society and other people and what they're doing. Sometimes it's about you, man.
Interesting conversation. I guess we'll keep an eye out for that one. It's been episode 10.